Are you an American that has been thinking about moving abroad, but you have a pretty serious Amazon addiction and you thought, well, if I move somewhere, especially Latin America, won't it be almost impossible to get what I want and to have it come in without paying ridiculous fees? What would you say if I told you could have up to $2,000 of products sent in to Ecuador, tax and import free, and it's even cheaper than doing it in America? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it here in northern Peru on Christmas Eve. Just had a chat with the local police about the statue here. Supposedly one of the people, or maybe in honor of the people that built this park on the river, this promenade, with these arches here. So this is a beautiful little spot. Welcome to northern Peru. Welcome to Piura. The desert city called the land of eternal sun, the land of eternal heat. There's quite a few names for it. As you can tell, it's a pretty sunny day. This is actually a pretty standard day here. Since I've been here almost 3 weeks already, there's only been one cloudy day. So it is pretty hot in the high 60s, low 70s, up to low 90s every day. Now we are gonna be walking past what is the Parque Temático Aeronáutico, which is the thematic or the theme park for the airspace or air jets or airplane type of park. It's located right here on the promenade of the river, Rio Piura. That is the banks, we're at the banks of the river that gives nourishment to this city, which is the reason why the city was built in the first place, right? We're in the middle of the desert. Without water, there's no life. So let's go ahead and talk about what it's like living in not only Ecuador, but trying to live in other countries and trying to have Amazon packages now sent to you. As I mentioned, you can live in Ecuador and you can have packages sent to you in 1 year, up to $2,000 worth of packages that are 5 packages or less, and they will be import and tax free. I had this done already in Ibarra, where I went to go visit and made a new friend named Hans, a German who I just interviewed for my channel. If you want to go ahead and check out what he chatted about, go ahead, click on the link here. He has some really good information about moving to Ibarra, moving to Ecuador, especially in 2024, upcoming 2025, all relevant information for you to know about moving to Ecuador if that is what you're wanting to do. Now, today we're going to be focusing on specifically getting Amazon packages sent to not only Ecuador, but 2 other countries. So go ahead and stick around so you can check out what the other 2 countries are. They're both in Latin America, and I researched them, and I have been able to spend some time in each as I made my way down from Minnesota. Now, for those that are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name's Eric from Living Abroad with Eric, or Generic Expats formerly, and I have been driving my motorcycle from Minnesota down, and it's been about 2 years and 4 months right now that I have been making content as I drive my motorcycle south from the northern border of Canada in Minnesota, and I have been spending 3 weeks in this city already. So we're in Peru now, but we're going to be specifically focusing on Ecuador and other countries. So let's go ahead and start off with country 1. Country 1, Ecuador. What is this policy that we're talking about? Now, the policy is specifically with Amazon that I have researched. Now, Amazon, from what I understand, is a company that recently expanded outside the US. Now, of course, for anyone in the US, you're quite accustomed to getting stuff from Amazon and enjoying the ease and the convenience of having things literally at the click of a button sent to you. Now, in the US, all you have to worry about when you want to order things like these on Amazon are going to be taxes with your state. Now, I believe, I don't know about federal taxes on these items. However, when I checked out having the same thing sent to me to Minnesota, where I'm from, that were being sent to Ecuador, I actually recognized that it was about 10% more. I'm like, why is it more expensive having things sent to the US than Ecuador? Oh, that's pretty crazy. So Ecuador recently created a policy, at least with Ecuador, and perhaps with many other countries, Amazon created this policy where it's called like the 4x4 courier system. I'm not sure the exact name, but the main rules are 4 related. So there's a 4 kilo maximum for your package. There's a $400 in total value. That is the cap. So if you want tax-free and import-free, it has to be below that amount. And then you can have things sent over, supposedly, according to the information I found, a maximum of 5 times per year. So 5 times per year, if you're sending things over at the maximum of $400, you do the math, that's $2,000. Now, of course, this is personal use. This is for certain electronics. This is for certain things. So obviously you can't be ordering 3,000 items of one thing to have sent over and make your little business, because yeah, first of all, if you're an expat in these countries, it's probably illegal to sell things as a business. And 2, I mean, you have certain limitations, of course. You can't have certain dangerous things sent over, of course. You can't have certain things that the country doesn't want into the country. So Ecuador, in this situation, it allows certain electronics. It allows a lot of the things that you probably would be buying on this platform. However, there are certain limitations, but I personally have sent over 1 package successfully to Ibarra, where Hans has his business, and it arrived within, I think, 3 weeks. It was pretty quick. It was pretty, I was a little bit nervous because I had quite a bit of, value in the box being sent over, and now I have a second and a third arriving as well to Hans in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be driving back up to Colombia to go visit my girlfriend Natalie, La Gachina, in Pereira in Colombia, and edit my videos of some older videos that I haven't had time to focus on and work on due to the constant changing and the transient nature of my channel, of my videos. Now, as I mentioned, I've been driving down through Latin America, and I haven't really had a time to just sit down and pump out all the content. I'll have a lot of interviews and a lot of things to share with you guys. So if you want to check out any of those interviews, besides the one with Hans, I'm making a playlist right here. You can check out the playlist of the interviews of me chatting with people. I think people really find a lot of value in my chats with people. Look at that, we have a telescope. This is all about looking into and going into space and perhaps self-defense. So this is the interesting walk we have on the Piura Promenade. I'd like to say thank you so much for watching my videos, and if you want to show support for my channel, please hit that like and subscribe like always. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can buy me a coffee, you can support me on Patreon, and you can also join my channel as a member. That goes to me and really helps me provide all the things that I need in order to make these high quality videos for you guys here in Latin America. Let's get back to the video. So that's going to be the Ecuador policy in Latin America. The 4x4 and 5 times per year. Now, I probably have already sent over 600, close to 800, maybe up to $1,000 worth of stuff, because if you do buy it locally, a lot of times the stuff costs at minimum 10-20% above the standard rate in America, if not 50 or 100%, double or triple the price. So if you like having electronics sent to you in a very convenient manner, and you're thinking about Latin America, well, Ecuador is probably going to be your #1 possibility and having many of those things met. The low cost of living, it's definitely safe, even though people will tell you don't go there. I spent 3 months there, had a great time, it's safe. And you can have the great food, the great quality fruit, great quality food for lunches for $2.50, and you can have your Amazon sent to you there. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, head over to Ecuador. Country number 2 is going to be Colombia. Now, Colombia has a different policy that's called supposedly the de minimis. I'm not sure if I say that right, but the de minimis is a policy that is a lower cap. It has $200 on the cap for the tax-free packages. However, there's a higher weight limit from what my research tells me, and there is no maximum like the 5 packages per year like Ecuador has. This one is going to be, I guess, up to a certain amount. Higher than that, I couldn't find any real numbers for that. Now, supposedly the weight allowance is quite a bit higher. You don't have to worry about the 4 kilo maximum that you do with Ecuador. But if you go above the $200 maximum threshold, you're going to be paying 19% VAT or tax on that. So they're talking about a pretty low threshold and then tax added on at a pretty low amount. And there are some services that can be used to send things over. So for example, with Amazon, I'm not sure what exact system they use, but you can send things pretty safely and easily through Servientrega and some other type of services in Colombia. I'm not sure exactly what the policy is with Amazon, so you'd have to look into that specifically if it's implemented any type of 4x4, but from what my research tells me, they don't have that yet. Country number 3 on our list of Latin American countries that you can move to if you're thinking of leaving the United States, but you have a bad Amazon addiction, is going to be Panama. Now, I lived in Panama in February of last year. I spent 6 weeks there and I absolutely loved Panama. Panama is surprisingly low cost compared to what people will tell you. They'll say, oh my God, it's so expensive. And yes, there are some expensive parts of it. Accommodation is one of those. Panama City is quite the metro type of city, but with very low population. It's quite an interesting area. It's very luxury looking and very luxury feeling, and it's quite safe. And so yeah, going to Panama is an excellent option for any of you that are thinking of going somewhere, especially if you enjoy the heat, because it's quite a hot city. Now, when talking about having things shipped over, in terms of having a policy like the 4x4 in Ecuador, I'm not quite sure if they have that or will implement that anytime soon. However, they do have a certain de minimis policy, just like with Colombia, which is actually capped at even lower. So with Colombia at $200, if it's above $200, you pay the 19% tax here. In Panama, if you send anything over above $100, that's going to be a 7% tax, and then you'll have to pay some handling charges on top of that. So we're talking about half the value in total that you can send over tax-free. But another advantage compared to Ecuador, again, is that there's no limit on this from what I understand, or at least the limit is quite a bit higher. According to my stats, just like with Colombia, the weight limits are quite a bit higher. However, the value limits on these are very low compared to both Colombia and Ecuador. Since Panama is basically a logistics hub of Latin America, being that it has the Panama Canal, they're really used to obviously managing lots of cargo, managing lots of shipments. There are casillero services, which are transportation services, which I believe are more common ways to have things sent down. So if you have any experiences having things sent to Panama using these casillero services, if you've used Amazon in Colombia recently, you have any good experiences or want to comment, please let us know in the comments below. And if you are in Ecuador, you've had this 4x4 system work for you, or maybe you've had some challenges, let us know in the comments as well. I'm definitely interested in hearing that. Well, here we are in northern Peru in the desert on Christmas Eve in the unlikely spot for me, at least in the US. I'm not used to very hot, dry Christmases. And that's me signing out, saying, hey guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support the channel, there's always the Patreon to donate if you want to donate. There's Buy Me a Coffee if you want to buy me a coffee. I believe it's $5 per coffee. If you want to join the channel and become a channel member, that will really help pay for all of the thousands of dollars I just had sent over to Ecuador by Amazon to make this channel even better throughout the years, as I'm going to be driving through the rest of South America in the next 2 to 3 years. And I'm hopefully going to be making some videos like this one in both Brazil and Argentina, which I believe are the 2 spots with the highest type of taxes for having things sent in and importing things. That's why some of their electronics are some of the highest in the world. They have a very protectionist, very high tax economy for international companies and international technology specifically. So guys, go ahead, join the channel if you want to be a channel member and show your support. And if you want any more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. So if not, this is me signing out on the day before Christmas. Hasta la próxima from Peru.